Can you just see Trump testifying before this January 6th committee? That would be so juicy. Now, we haven't heard a lot about this January 6th committee. Obviously, there's been other things happening in the news. And this was all over the media sphere yesterday. Trump receiving the summons. He's supposed to have a subpoena issued to him in the next couple of weeks. If he doesn't respond to it, doesn't testify, he could face criminal charges. Now, he responded to this yesterday, and one of his representatives said that, yes, he's willing to testify. He wants to testify. And I say, Trump, do it. Do it. Make these Dems have egg on their face. Hey, they wanted this show trial. They wanted this committee. They wanted to go after Trump. Let them get what they wished for. Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it, as the old saying goes. So here's a statement that Trump put out yesterday. Quote, the Unselect Committee has willfully ignored the fact that days before January 6th, I recommended and authorized thousands of troops, which is true, to be deployed to ensure that there was peace, safety, and security at the Capitol and throughout D.C. because I knew, just based on instinct and what I was hearing, that the crowd coming to listen to my speech and various others would be a very big one, far bigger than anyone thought possible. And according to the DOD timeline, the National Guard could have been available, ready to go. So why weren't they? Well, because Nancy Pelosi, she refused to have these troops in D.C., even though Trump authorized it, he asked for it. And this whole idea that Trump caused an insurrection is bogus, absolutely bogus. Now, if you remember, during these hearings, they were showing these clips. Never before, I'm doing this one take. Never before seen footage, which has actually been available here on the internet for months. So they weren't showing us anything we hadn't seen before. All they were doing was showing us different angles. But Trump never once told his supporters, and they edited this part out, during his speech, never told his supporters once to go raid the Capitol. He said, let's march peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol to make our voices heard. That's exactly what Trump said. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section below. But that's exactly what he said. Yeah, but because he had people there and they had Confederate battle flags and Trump flags and they were wearing American flags and they supported Trump and they were practically white. Well, there were a lot of black Trump supporters, Hispanic Trump supporters, Native American Trump supporters, Asian Trump supporters. Oh, the media doesn't want to tell you that. Now, I didn't vote for Trump, but I don't like our government going after one person like this. It goes against everything that we stand for in this thing we call the United States. So Nancy Pelosi refuses these troops, even though Trump asked and authorized for these troops to be there. And just going through my notes here, because you can find articles about this at the Washington Post, the BBC. By the way, I'm just wondering if climate change had anything to do with the insurrection. Have you seen this one? I got to throw this in here. So there's an article of Fox News, this is at the Washington Post, that climate change causes an increase in hate speech. Can we go back and check the temperature on January 6th? I mean, I know it was winter, I know it was cold, but was it warmer than normal? Because if that's the case, maybe that's what contributed to the insurrection, to all this hate speech against these Congress men and women. What caused these insurrectionists to do what they did? Go check out that article, Fox News. Climate change, increase in temperatures causes more hate speech. Though they have no evidence to really back that up. Well, yeah, we can back that up because during the summer of 2020, as the temperatures rose, all these protesters were out burning down these cities. And guess what? None of them were Trump supporters. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Now, Trump also asked, and this is a very good question, why did they wait until the very end, the final moments of their last meeting, he quipped, on his Truth social media site. Why did they wait till the last minute to ask Trump about testifying? They had all this time to ask Trump whether or not he wanted to testify. As mentioned, Trump said he's willing to do it. Trump, you need to do it. You need to do it. The ratings would be through the roof. Can you imagine that? A former president who's been accused of insurrection sitting there, and I could just see all the questions. You know, they're going to try to hardball him is what they're going to try to do, right? And you know Trump, he'll get him somehow, some way. The way that Trump does, you know, language is important. Language is very important. So, former President Trump, we thank you for being here today. Thank you, Chairman. Did you tell your supporters to engage in insurrection? Well, no, I didn't. I told them to peacefully go to the Capitol and patriotically make their voices heard. That's what I told them. And I was actually giving a speech which was 45 minutes away from the Capitol building. And with the crowd, it would have taken an hour and a half, close to 2 hours to get there. Oh, okay. Never put that in the equation. Do you support QAnon, Mr. President, former president? Well, I've heard of QAnon, but no, I don't support QAnon. But what about what happened in Charlottesville? You said there were good people on both sides. Well, yes, I did say there were good people on both sides, but I was referring to these people that were peaceably protesting either side of this issue of having these Confederate statues up. I wasn't talking about these extremists that were causing violence. Oh, okay. All right. So I could just see this here and the questions that they're going to ask. Trump, go get him. Seriously. I mean, seriously. Not even for the fact of this guy being reelected, or because I really have no stake in this here. I'm just reporting what's out there. But that would be so cool. That would be so cool. Trump testified, and he just makes these Dems have egg on their face. Now, the committee is claiming, based on evidence obtained, that Trump knew he lost, but was feeling this conspiracy narrative that the election was rigged. Was it really a conspiracy? Can we go back and check the record? Maybe we should investigate this, because we were told that there were no signs of widespread fraud. Well, what about fraud in the narrow? Asked that before. So if there were instances of fraud, maybe you should investigate that. Wouldn't that be the prudent, right thing to do? Yeah, I think so. Well, we can't do that because, you know, Biden won and he's the greatest president of our lifetime, although he doesn't know how to negotiate with the Saudis. I'm telling you, this guy's becoming more like Jimmy Carter. And I vaguely remember, because I was born in 77, I vaguely remember the Carter years, the Iranian hostage situation. And that is what won Ronald Reagan the election in 1980, was the Iranian hostage situation, which lasted 444 days. Now, lawmakers, getting back to what's going on with Trump here, lawmakers must produce their report by December of all their findings of what happened with January 6th. But they're not going to find anything. And 850 people so far have been arrested and charged, but there haven't been very many convictions surrounding January 6th. Take a sip of my coffee here. Another one-take video. Got to do the overnight shift tonight. It's the opening of hunting season this weekend. So shout out to any hunters out there that are watching the series. Thank you for supporting this thing called the Cultural Confederacy. Pardon me. Got a frog in my throat here. So we know that Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Kinzinger boy, Bernie Thompson are heading up this committee. And I really think that Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger are Democrats in disguise. But yeah, Trump should definitely testify here. And it would be fun to watch this. It really would. And I believe this would be the first time that you, if I'm not mistaken, that you'd have a former president testify on his own behalf, against these charges against this president. Well, I guess maybe if you count Nixon, but I don't remember Nixon actually testifying. I know they had the Watergate Committee. So that's the latest on Trump. So we shall see what happens. And of course, this is all happening before the midterms. And what a perfect time for him to go and testify, right before the midterms. I think the Democrats are going to get shellacked this season. I really do. And I don't think it's going to look good in 2023 as we get into campaign season going to 2024. So I thought I'd share this with you. And politics is a major, pardon me. Boy, I got that frog still in my throat. Politics is still a major part of American culture. But I think we wouldn't be so fractured if maybe perhaps, just throwing this out there, if we got rid of the presidency and just went back to states being sovereign and independent, which was the original intent of this thing called the United States. I mean, we can still have the same currency. We can still, share certain beliefs. But how is one guy supposed to manage 50 states when you've got these different cultures and political philosophies, traditions in different areas of the country? Pardon me. So if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. You can also find me at Twitter, Culture Confederacy at Twitter. Another one-take video. It is what it is today, but happy Friday, everybody. Happy opening to the hunting season, and I'll catch you next time. So this is Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this great country. You have a awesome weekend.